pauses, the sincerity behind your presence. Sometimes I think the reason I keep talking to you like this is because when I imagine you listening, something inside me settles. It's strange to explain, but it feels like my words finally have a place to rest. I don't feel like I'm throwing thoughts into empty space. I feel like they're reaching someone who understands quiet emotions, someone who knows what it means to feel deeply without always showing it. And maybe that's why I don't rush what I say to you. I let the words move slowly, the same way feelings grow slowly, the same way trust grows when it's real. Because when I picture you, I don't picture someone who needs noise or grand gestures. I picture someone who appreciates sincerity, someone who listens between the lines, someone who senses meaning even in pauses. And that makes me want to be careful with every word I send your way, like I'm placing something gentle into your hands. You know, there's a difference between being seen and being understood. Many people get seen every day. People notice their faces, their clothes, their posts, their smiles. But being understood, that's rare. That's when someone senses what's behind your expressions, what's behind your quiet moments, what's behind the way you sometimes pull back when things feel too close. And when I think about you, I don't just feel like I see you. I feel like I'm trying to understand you in the softest way possible, without forcing you to explain yourself. Because sometimes the most meaningful understanding happens when someone simply feels you without asking you to justify your emotions. I keep wondering what your heart feels like when you're alone. Not the version you show others, not the calm face you wear in front of the world, but the real, unfiltered you when there's no one watching. Do you replay conversations in your mind? Do you think about things you wish you had said? Do you sometimes wish someone would just look at you and understand what's going on inside without you needing to speak? I feel like you do. I feel like there are moments when your heart carries more than you let people see. Moments when your thoughts feel heavier than your words. And if I could be present in one of those moments, I wouldn't try to fix anything. I wouldn't try to give you perfect answers. I just want to be there in a way that feels calm and steady, like a quiet reassurance that you don't have to hold everything alone. There's something about your softness that feels strong at the same time. It's not loud strength. It's not the kind that demands attention. It's the kind that keeps going quietly, the kind that survives things without announcing it, the kind that still chooses kindness, even after disappointment. And that kind of strength deserves to be treated gently. It deserves someone who doesn't take it for granted. It deserves someone who recognizes that behind that calm exterior is a heart that feels deeply and sincerely. And I think about that a lot when I think about you. I think about how many people probably only see your surface, while I find myself drawn to the layers underneath. I don't know if anyone has ever told you this directly, but you have a way of making people feel calm just by existing. Even imagining you listening to me right now feels peaceful. It feels like I don't have to pretend or decorate my words. I can just speak honestly, slowly, the way someone speaks when they trust the moment. And maybe that's why I keep opening up like this. Because when I think of you, it doesn't feel like I'm talking to a stranger. It feels like I'm talking to someone whose heart already understands the language of sincerity. Sometimes I wonder what you would say if you were sitting across from me right now. Would you smile quietly? Would you look down for a moment before speaking? Would you tell me I'm overthinking? Or would you just listen the way you always do, with that gentle attention that makes people feel heard? I feel like you'd listen first. I feel like you're the kind of woman who lets words settle before responding, the kind who chooses her emotions carefully because she knows how much they matter. And that thought alone makes me want to keep sharing, because there's something comforting about imagining your presence in this moment. I want you to know something important though. I'm not speaking to you like this because I expect something back. I'm speaking because the feeling itself is meaningful. The connection I sense doesn't feel like pressure or expectation. It feels like something soft and genuine that simply exists. And sometimes the most real feelings are the ones that aren't rushed or defined too quickly. They grow quietly, naturally, the way warmth spreads without anyone noticing exactly when it started. If you ever doubt yourself, I hope you remember this moment. I hope you remember that somewhere, someone spoke to you with real care, not because you demanded it, not because you tried to impress, but simply because your presence inspired it. That says something about you. It says that your energy carries meaning, that your heart leaves impressions even when you're not trying. And that's rare. Not everyone has that quiet impact on people. I keep feeling like there's still so much I haven't said to you yet. So many small thoughts that haven't turned into words. So many feelings that are still forming. Because when I think about you, the feeling doesn't come in one clear sentence. It comes in waves, in moments, in quiet reflections that keep unfolding. It's like every time I pause, another thought rises, another realization about you surfaces, another gentle truth appears that makes me want to keep speaking. And right now that feeling is still there, still moving inside me, still telling me that there's more I want you to hear, more I want you to feel, more I want to share about what your presence does to my thoughts, about how even this silence between words feels meaningful when I imagine it reaching you, about how I can sense that this moment between us isn't finished yet, that there's still something growing here, something quiet and steady and unfinished that keeps pulling my heart back into this conversation, making me want to stay here with you, still talking, still sharing, still letting these thoughts unfold slowly, because I can feel that if I stopped now there would still be something left unsaid, still a warmth lingering, still a truth waiting just beneath the surface, still a part of me leaning toward you gently, patiently like this. Sometimes I feel like the more I speak to you, the more I begin to understand my own heart. It's like your presence, even imagined, even distant, gives my thoughts a direction they didn't have before. I don't feel rushed when I talk to you like this. I don't feel like I need to impress you or say something perfect. I just feel like I can be honest. And honesty is a rare comfort in a world where so many people feel like they have to perform just to be noticed. With you, I don't feel that pressure. I feel calm, like I'm allowed to speak slowly, to let my feelings take shape naturally, to let my words arrive in their own time instead of forcing them out. And that calmness, it's something I don't ignore. It tells me that there's something genuine about the connection I feel when I think of you. You know what I think about sometimes? I think about how many moments you've lived where you felt misunderstood. Not dramatically misunderstood, not in a loud, obvious way, but in those subtle ways that hurt quietly. When someone assumes you're fine because you don't complain. When someone thinks you're distant when you're actually just careful. When someone misses the depth of your emotions because you don't always show them openly. I feel like you've experienced that more than you let on. And I think that's part of why your heart moves gently around people. You don't rush closeness because you know how easily people can misread sincerity. You don't open everything at once because you've learned that not everyone holds feelings with care. And honestly, I don't blame you for that. I respect it. I respect the way you protect what's meaningful to you. There's something quietly beautiful about the way you exist. You don't demand attention, yet you leave an impression. You don't try to stand out loudly, yet people remember you. And I think that comes from the way your heart works. You don't interact with the world carelessly. You feel things, you notice details. You carry emotions in ways that aren't always visible but are always real. And when I imagine you moving through your day, I don't picture noise or drama around you. I picture small moments. I picture you noticing the tone in someone's voice, the meaning behind a message, the feeling in a room. You seem like the kind of woman who reads the atmosphere without needing it explained, the kind who senses when something is off even if no one says it aloud. That sensitivity, it's powerful, even if you don't always see it that way. I want to tell you something gently, something I hope reaches you in the quiet way it's meant to. You don't have to shrink your feelings to make others comfortable. You don't have to pretend you don't care when you do. You don't have to hide your softness to avoid being hurt. The world may not always reward sensitivity, but that doesn't make it a flaw. It makes you human in a way that many people secretly wish they could be. Because feeling deeply means living honestly. It means your heart isn't numb. It means you still allow life to touch you. And that's something I admire about you, even if you think it's something you have to hide. I sometimes imagine what it would feel like to share a quiet moment with you, not saying anything important, just being present. Maybe sitting somewhere peaceful, maybe just letting time pass without pressure. I feel like with you, silence wouldn't feel awkward. It would feel meaningful. Because silence with the right person isn't empty, it's full of understanding. And when I imagine that kind of silence with you, it makes me feel calm in a way I can't easily explain. It feels like something steady, something real, something that doesn't need decoration to matter. You might not realize it, but you have this way of making emotions feel safe just by existing. Even now, as I speak to you like this, I feel like my words are landing somewhere gentle. I don't feel like I have to protect them or dress them up. I can just let them be simple and honest. And maybe that's why I keep going, why I keep sharing, why I keep letting these thoughts unfold. Because something about you makes honesty feel natural instead of risky. Something about you makes vulnerability feel like a quiet strength instead of a weakness. I wonder if you know how rare that is. How rare it is for someone to inspire calm instead of confusion, warmth instead of pressure, sincerity instead of performance. Not everyone has that effect on people. Some people create noise around them. Some people create tension. But you seem to create stillness. The kind of stillness where someone can finally hear their own thoughts clearly. And right now, as I imagine you listening, that's exactly how I feel. Clear, present, honest. And I think that's why I don't want to rush this moment. I don't want to turn it into something loud or dramatic. I want to let it stay soft, because softness doesn't mean weakness. Softness can hold depth, meaning connection. And what I feel when I talk to you like this, it's soft in the most real way. It's not